Okay, it's 3059-100. Oh, wait a minute, let me see if I can get this right here. Oh, wrong way. Okay. Like I said, it's 3059-100, and I'm back here at the spot today that I videoed that family group back in May last year. So I'm gonna come back here today, and I'm gonna try some Cherokee dialect talking and see if I can get responses. I was thinking about doing some knocks today, but it wouldn't be, I don't think that'd be doing any good right now. But it's about 50 degrees, a little windy, but I'm going to be looking for tracks. Last time I was down here, I remember seeing some trees pushed over in the opposite direction from what the stream is. You know, so I'm just going to basically check the area out, see if that group is still here. If not, oh well, at least I tried and everything. But it's a nice day today. And you know, I want to touch on this thing they call stealth, or where they go invisible, if you want to call it that. Stuff like that, you know. But the way I see it, how can a Squatch, something that's made of flesh and blood, go invisible? Now, think about that. You got you got from 500 to 1,000 pounds, maybe more, depends on how big he is, of mean flesh and blood. Now, how can they go stealth? They go stealth. They're like any other animal. They're big, they're hairy. They use the woods as camo, which I can see that. But you got people on here who, I mean, bottom line is, I'm not ragging anybody. These are my observations, personal observations, you know. And I don't mean to, I ain't hurt no one's feelings or anything like that. This is just my theory and opinion. Number one, stealth mode. All predators do it. Mountain lions, bears, bobcats, wolves, coyotes, just to name a few. I've been stalked by mountain lions before, and I know how sneaky they are, and I know how strong they are. I've had some within 5-6 feet of me. Walked right up on me, and I never knew they was there, and they never knew I was there until I moved, and they looked at me and I looked at them, they hauled ass. Of course they did growl and hiss and everything else, but that's part of nature. Defense mode. But the way I see it, cloaking, where they go invisible. I've seen videos where people were standing there with their arm up right next to a bush that was circled and say there was a Squatch there. Honestly, in my opinion, I tend to disagree. I grant you, Squatches do a lot of oddball stuff, but they don't have no supernatural power of disappearing or using that what you call cloaking lotion, anything like that. There's nothing. Plain flesh and blood. And what people are mistaken, what I can understand, is they're hearing something, they see a bush move, and they say, oh, that's squatching cloaking. No. That does not compute, if you want to call it that. Like I said, I'm not an expert, I'm not anything, I'm just a plain old country boy that's just an investigator in my area. You know, and cloaking is not one of the things that I know about. I just can't see it. I can't. It doesn't compute, because people saying, oh, they come from outer space. UFOs show up. No, I don't think so. If it was, it all through, down through the centuries, the American Indian tribes talked about a tall, hairy animal. And I did specify animal at the time because they didn't know what it was. Of course, I don't know what it is either, except for flesh and blood and about 800 to 1,000 pounds of pure hell. That's just the way I see it. So anyway, I'm just pondering and thinking and talking out loud, you know. That's just the way I see it. And there we go. Okay, so anyway, like the Squatches here in my area, you know, they have shown no aggression toward me whatsoever. Matter of fact, the juveniles, you know, we walk through the woods, you know, no problem, down there in their hiding spots, you know, and they would chuck a rock. Well, I got to the point where, okay, they're throwing rocks to from my right, left to my right, so when a rock come flying by, left and right, I would look left. And what do you know? I would catch one, maybe two juveniles trying to sneak off, which is cool, but they're doing what they was taught to do. And by messing with humans like that, they get to the point where they're good at what they do. They're sneaking up on animals, you know, like deer. You know, they'll take and, interesting area. Let me show you where I'm at right now. And this is before you get to the area where I videotaped them at. This is the path going down to the spot. I was in that little thing up there. Look. It's got all that down there. There's laurel brush. Good hiding places. But right now it looks barren. So they could be come down here during the day, you know. There's a creek running all up, you know, there's a creek running all up through here, you know. It's called Kennedy Ridge Creek, you know, stuff like that. But in the summertime, you can't see the ground. All you see is laurel brush, okay? So these guys are pretty well, you know, these guys are pretty well slick, you know. They know their business, they know how to do it, and you know, I used peanut butter, I used apples, I used all sorts of stuff, you know, and they got to the point where they was sticking around the area, you know. I was down here back in summertime and they, let's see, how they do it. Okay, I'm down there. We're going to the area now. And I'm sitting there I made two videos down there. I made one of just piddling around, and I had a morel mushroom stalk thrown at me. Okay, so I look up, I look around, you know, didn't see anything, and I turn my back and I look back behind me, didn't see nothing. Alright, next day I come out, I put my back against the same tree, and I take exactly 12 steps, and boom, there was 3 bedding areas. There was 3 beds right there, and you could see. I'll go down here today, that's where I'm headed now, and we're gonna see if we could see if I can find them beds again. The family still might be here. They might not. I don't know. I have no idea. And everything. I talked to a gentleman this morning. He says up there where I'm squatching at, if you go just one spot or one area, it's shoot first, ask questions later. I said, what do you mean? He says it's military up there. Well, that's fine too. I've been all back up through the mountains and I ain't seen no military personnel yet. So apparently they're doing this and they're doing that. I don't know. But ooh, there goes a red-tailed hawk. Cool. So anyway, I'm gonna turn the camera around here. I'm just gonna show y'all where I'm at and everything, and you'll see what I'm doing. You know, we got the woods right here. You know, in the thickets. This is the trail. I'll show you. Right here's the trail I'm following down. This is the trail where I got most of my footprints. Where they were crossing from my right to my left, going over there where the, well, I just showed y'all, you know. So I really can't tell you if they're still here or not. As far as knuckle walking goes, they do knuckle walk, especially when they're juveniles. You know, and they use it to haul ass when things don't go their way. you know, get away, chase something, you know. It all depends, you know, but as far as cloaking goes, I can understand standing behind the bush, camoed, I can see that. But to be invisible, no, I don't see that. I don't agree with anybody. But like I said, this is just my opinion. I'm thinking out loud, you know. And one thing I tell myself is, why do people think that Squatches can turn invisible? Only logical explanation is they can't. They use their stealth. In other words, I'm saying they could be, you can walk right by them and they can be in a brush pile and you won't be able to see them because you're not expecting them to be there. That's the simplest explanation anybody can come up with here. You know, and the way I see it, that's the only logical explanation that anybody can come up with. You know. So anyway, I'll be right back. I'm just here twiddling now, just walking the trail here. I'm gonna do some Cherokee dialect. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and start it now. So y'all just hold on for a few minutes, okay? Anyway, I'll be right back.